do understand that, right?
I do.
This wasn't a war I started. I'm putting it together, but it was not ever going to be something I started.
I'll just make other people do it.
There's a lot of reasons. Go on.
The individuals you're going to kill now are going to disagree with that.
What did she say? My brain.
Oh, the people you're going to kill are going to disagree with that.
I could take a breath and somebody would disagree with it. I'm used to being disagreed with. But if you aren't in it to win it, if you can't keep your eyes on the prize and see the bigger picture, you're not useful to me. I never said what we're doing is good, nor did I say it was evil. It's just the state of what is.
You talk about the bigger picture, but all that you've said so far is how much fun it'll be for you. You haven't actually told us the ultimate goal here other than you want to start a war.
Because the gods are twisted people.
And what does forcing a bunch of mortals into a war going to do about that?
Because if I were to kill all the gods, where would the mortals see any point?
They'll find something.
No, they won't. Mortals look to gods to see possibility, to see justice, to see righteousness in the world. If they all die, and it's wiped out by my hand, there's no point. It's just evil. It's just darkness clouding the sky, and all they'll do after that is either fall into a never-ending depression and cease to see the point in living, or they'll fight against it tooth and nail until there's nothing left. The point of getting mortals involved is so that they can fight and believe in all those lies that they tell themselves to keep going. Truth, justice, hope.
But they aren't fighting gods, you're making them fight each other.
The gods will be involved. They're not going to sit for long enough. That's the part I didn't feel like telling them. You might understand it because at some point you understand that the world is a horrible, awful place, and there really isn't any beauty to it. You see that. I see a little further beyond. I see the beauty in the madness, beauty in the chaos. Samson could barely stand looking upon a god and having his worldview move before he fell on his hands and knees and it all came tumbling down. And Nim? She has no idea what she's getting into. She's just walking through the motions, step by step, stumbling through wild magic and everything else in her life. The only reason she
I'd be offended, but I'm not there.
The only reason she survived this long is because she gave up feeling like she has any control, any wants. She just moves through the motions. Something I'm trying to change. Because the second I realized she was a Prime Mortalis, that meant that anybody else who figures out would try and use her. She's valuable from birth.
And you're completely different.
He literally said that he's teaching her for her own defense.
Because I'm squishy.
She needs to be
true.
able, at the end of the day, she needs to be able to think for herself and want things for herself. And at the other end of the day, he needs to live a life where he can comprehend what's going on. Point being, you don't have to subject yourself to this. You don't have to walk the same path, but when it comes down to it, you do need to understand. I'm not giving you guys all of these opportunities. I'm not giving you all this power so that you can kill a couple of paltry mortals. If it wasn't clear enough, I'm making Nim into a god killer, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to give Samson yet. But you're already damaged goods. Whether you like me saying that or not is irrelevant, because you know it to be true. You can go home to your daughter, to your life, to your family. The world can burn down around you and you'd never see it from the top of your mountain. But if you get involved, your life's not getting any better. It's just going to get worse. And if you break along the way, I can't sit here and fix you, put you back together, because I'm going to be too busy getting my own head caved in. You can hate me. That's fine. I don't care. Because you're one out of an infinite number of living beings. But if you get in my way, if you're dead weight, that's a problem. don't mix it up. It's not a threat. I'm giving you an open door. It's whether or not you close it that matters. And he's gonna get up from the desk and just walk over and walk out. So,
Just stay there.
fair enough.
I thought it'd be really funny if when Xantax was like, "You two get out," if Yella also left. Because you're not the boss of me.
It was like, oh yeah, Samson first crumbled when he saw a god. That motherfucker pulled the trigger without a second's hesitation.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about soon. He was talking about what he actually considers to be a god, because Soon's only a minor deity at this point.
That's why you could shoot her.
Oh, are you talking about the boat thing?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. He was talking about Akarazazel.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's not what was making Samson freak out.
It was what Xantax did.
True. But his
Entirely Zanzibar was the entire, like, the source of his fear during that whole issue.
Yeah, but his point was still, like, that stuff's going to probably become the norm.
And Samson can't handle it as he is now.
Yeah. Basically, the entire point of that is both of them, Zanzibar thinks both of them can be molded into being able to handle it, but he's not sure Hyala's going to be able to hold her mental state together and deal with it. On top of that, she's going to be dragging everyone she knows and slightly cares about into a war. Which is also going to probably weigh on her conscience. So, the port?
How you guys doing? Now we've all been insulted.
Woo! Insults.
No filter! No filter! No filter! To be fair, Zanzibar did compliment Samson more than he actually insulted him.
They were like weird backhanded insults because like everything you say about Samson is true, and then it's always followed with, "But God, you're dumb."
Could you be any dumber? Yes, actually.
Man, you make a good pot roast. But God, are you dumb?
Yeah. Samson's defining quality has become idiot. And it's
No, he
really
has
funny.
other qualities.
Yeah, but
He's
none of
handsome.
them are completely isolated from him being an idiot.
And he's not even that dumb.
Yeah, he still has the ability of speech.
He has a 9 intelligence.
That's
He's
really...
just slightly below average.
I know, but you play him, and it's not an insult. I love it, but you play him like a 6. He's got a 9.
That's all I know.
I would
That's
love.
all I know.
I would love to see you play an in-20 character.
Oh my God.
I would love to see you be so far out of your comfort zone.
I have played in 20 int character. The problem is that wisdom was my dump stat. So I could like recite to you like 100 faces on pi, but wouldn't check both ways before crossing the street.
You give it his exact
That
amount.
does sound like most really intelligent people.
And that was a blast to play.
Anyway.
I have officially played a character that has had every stat as a dump stat. Or rather, and I think low wisdom or low intelligence might be the funniest one.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Low charisma was surprisingly fun too. Isn't that right? Jane?
Low charisma's painful.
So, port time?
Port time. I think so.
Nimshay? Okay. Wait, I said Nimshay? Like I was asking two people?
Nimlin.
Meant to say Jade Shay. But
Yo,
yeah,
what up?
So you start coming in, you can see the shore of Evungal. Zanzibar slipped below deck long before, and he has not come above
He's
deck
just chilling
since.
with his sausages.
Yeah. At some point along the way, he did ask for Snowdrop, so that he could sneak Snowdrop onto the harbor. You know, in preparation for sneaky Foxgober.
Snowdrop's 11.
So, you guys would see Nim. So, you know that talk that usually, like, adults give young children? Like, you have to stay safe, and if someone bothers you that you don't know, you run away because they're dangerous.
Stranger danger.
Yeah.
If someone tries to touch you in a way that makes you feel inappropriate, that's
No good.
You know what to do.
Inappropriate belly scritches.
I don't know what you're talking about. Absolutely appropriate.
Nim's really fixated on Samson's torso, huh?
Yep.
Samson, take your shirt off. What?
Scritch.
Anyway, so you dip Snowdrop the whole 9 yards?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then you hand him off to Zanzibar. Zanzibar just blinks at you, shrugs his shoulders, and it sounds like Zanzibar is giving the same conversation to the Snowdrop, but it's in Terran.
Translation.
I know you don't understand.
You in a way that you don't feel comfortable. That's no good.
So you just see Zanzibar holding Snowdrop in his hand, and Snowdrop's just looking at Zanzibar full attention, and he's just speaking in Terran while he just ignores the world and walks below deck.
Man, that fox is really cute. I'm a little jealous of you, Nim.
That's something that no one's ever said.
As you approach the port, military ships closing around the Umber Rose, and you already see people scurrying around. As predicted, security is just closing in around you. Rosebeard?
So the first thing that came to mind is that we're chilling like the Breakfast Club, but I've never seen it, so I don't know how they sit.
Well, I think...
First thing that came to mind was this thing I've never seen before, but I've never seen it, so I don't know what it looks like.
Exactly.
Shay, you have a beautiful mind.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any Mahuzala Thuzala. As you see all the cabal and ruckus start, Rosebeard goes up to the bow, starts explaining things, you know, trying to talk his way into getting you guys off the boat. So what's the party doing?
I'm sorry, what just happened?
We're being arrested.
No, Rosebeard's trying to start the whole diversion thing. And, you know, explain why he's there, why he should be there, and why they shouldn't just start open firing on y'all.
Ah.
And the party is there. What they gonna do? Sit and wait, see how things play out, or take an active role?
I feel like... I feel like we should take an active role and present ourselves so that they don't think he's just bullshitting. Because let's face it, if he tried to tell them, oh yeah, I'm back because those kids you sent to Zanzibar, they're alive and kicking, you know, after like 2 months, they might look at him like he's a little out there. Yeah.
Take it away, fam. Zzz.
Well, I assume we're walking in on a conversation.
So you walk up to the bow where Zanzibar's leading off?
I mean,
where Rosebeard's leading off. I said the wrong word.
yeah.
Too many Zanzibars. Zanzibar place, people, towns, items. Too many Zanzibars.
Oh, now you're starting to realize.
What are you talking about?
I
There's
wonder
not
what
enough Zanzibars.
ended this.
What are you
Oh,
talking about?
yeah,
We need
you're right.
more
There's not enough
Zanzibars.
Zanzibars. Put more Zanzibars in.
We will. Zanzibar the woman, Zanzibar the man, Zanzibar the child.
I feel like there was that like one family that just named their kids that.
We're the Zanzibars.
Zanzibar
Yeah.
was a really popular name in Cult Town of Zanzibar.
So you run up to the bow behind Rosebeard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'll give it to you. I'll skip the perception. So you run up behind Rosebeard and hear him going, "Look, I'm not kidding you. They're right here. They're done. They're ready to come off." And you look over, and, well, for better or worse, you see a familiar face. Who none other but the Meat Mountain himself, Briston
Gerald.
Pet, is standing there, arms crossed, looking with fierce hatred in his eyes, until he sees you three pop up over the bow, and then, like, genuine shock comes across his face. Standing next to him, a full head or so shorter, is a man you don't recognize, but clearly wearing the same uniform Suffren wore, but a little more done up. Bits of yellow finery adorn his medals, his, cufflinks. A sneaking suspicion that one of the Grand Tacticians is standing in front of you kind of creeps up your spine. Not the best scenario, not the worst. But it gets better. Because you just see Briss Tempet look over to him and go, "That's them, sir. The dwarf is telling the truth." And then he just kind of grumbles. You see what could only be one of the 4 Grand Tacticians nod his head, and he quickly starts to depart. You see only a wave of his hand as he disappears within the streets of the naval district. Briss Tempet looks back up at you three and just like cocks his head to the side to get off the boat.
Samson's going to shoot him some finger guns and then start walking off.
Nim waves.
I wanted to do that when he first saw us, but
You hear Rosebeard call out some orders, and you see the boarding ramps drop off the side of the boat. I'm assuming you all hurry over.
What's the rush?
Oh, side note, you have everything from Gluttony stored away in a bag of holding, right?
to find everything.
All the stuff that would clearly indicate that you got... that they shouldn't have come from a nowhere's land. Obviously, the Atom armor can't go into a bag of holding.
Yeah, the Atom armor wouldn't be in a bag of holding. The quiver we can't put in a bag of holding. But besides that, Samson's armor is on him, and I don't think anyone was paying attention enough about what fucking armor he was wearing.
Probably not.
But
But
the apples are most certainly in a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nim's bag.
Yeah, that quiver, I just realized, would also probably need to be somewhere out of sight.
I mean, we could just say we stole it from Zanzibar. Oh, wait. That might have to come up later.
What do you mean?
Well, we can't say we stole it from Zanzibar. He thinks that we were on a biological expedition.
The locals gifted it to us. For helping.
I mean, can't. I mean, Hyala can wear her stuff just under her big fuzzy coat.
That's true.
I
Anka's
assume we're not
covering.
getting strip searched before going to the...
Anka's
Stuff
taking
can
one
be
for the
quite
team.
easily concealed.
It's not like we're going to the airport.
Dang, Jade's gonna be so jealous of me. I have a fresh baked brownie.
Ooh.
Yeah, fresh.
And you're not crying.
Why would I be crying? Have a brownie.
No, I know.
That's why you're not crying.
Are you currently crying in Brownie List?
I'm crying for other reasons.
Why do you cry? Oh no!
Because I'm in
Stop.
Hyala's head.
Stop crying!
Or cry out loud. In
Here,
character.
here,
No.
take the brownie. Take it. I'm pushing it into the screen. Take the brownie.
Don't push it into the screen.
I'm pushing it into
The
the
last
screen.
time
I
you
want
cleaned
you to
that
have the
screen.
brownie. Here, I'm pushing it into the microphone. Have the brownie. Have the brownie. Have it.
Sound like-
Have the brownie.
Is that gonna fix anything?
Well, I've done my job as a DM. Create angst. Cross that
Ooh.
off the list. My piece of brownie has some brownie crust from the edge of the pan. Wow.
I was expecting you to say dust from the screen. I was like, ugh.
No? How dirty do you think my screen is?
All screens have a little dust on them.
I wipe my screen.
Every
how?
30 seconds?
No.
Yes.
And there you go.
Brownie. Anyway, where was I before I brownied?
were walking
We're
down
being
the
talked
steps.
about in front of our faces.
Who was saying what last? Oh yeah, you were discussing the stuff and where it's stashed.
Yeah.
Quiver stashed under your cloak. Yes. Hyala.
Yeah.
Good enough for me. Where's the atom armor?
The Atom Armor.
Probably with Xantax.
Honestly, yeah, I probably just left it somewhere on the ship. It's not something I could actually, no, I'll just leave it in my backpack.
Your backpack can fit a whole suit of armor?
A suit of armor, it's a chest piece, and some bracers.
Oh yeah. You know, somehow I always forget that. When I think armor, I just always default to thinking a suit, not like individual pieces.
Yeah.
Like
which
how I
mean,
think of Exodia. I don't think of Exodia as the 5 pieces, I just think of Exodia as Exodia. Because what the hell's the point of thinking of just the leg of Exodia, or the leg of armor?
It's really fucking funny. But yeah, no, he'll probably have it tucked away in his backpack.
Fair enough.
Is there anything else we need to
Your
be looking
boots.
at? My boots are on my feet. They're boots.
I think she means the boots of Evungal, but we already discussed they'd be in the thing. The bag.
Yeah, I guess they would be a little different. Damn, I should have gotten them to make cowboy boots of Elvenkind.
Cowboy boots of Yeehaw. If you would.
You know what? That's why Samson has the Tinkerer's tool, so he can put spurs on his boots of Elvenkind.
So I don't know how funny it is, but it's putting a stupid smile on my face. I was just thinking instead of Yeezys, Yeehazis.
Yeehazis! Oh my god! That's
Oh
pretty
man, you have them new Yeehazzies! Man, those are so expensive! I can't get my mom to buy me any!
good. Mainly because she's dying.
That's selfish, bitch.
You know, I understand it, but I was trying to go for
Oh, my heart.
generic, like... Oh! Shots fired at Nim.
No, I can just put it on Daddy's card. It's fine.
You know what you can't buy with Daddy's card?
A new daddy.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say love and admiration.
Yeah, but that doesn't go on a card.
Same
that goes
thing.
on a form.
Yeah. An actual parent. So yeah, I think we have everything well hidden. So yeah, Samson will make his way down the ramp. Does anyone else need help getting down the ramp? Is it a steep ramp? Is Nim going to fall?
Yeah, I was about to say, how big is this ramp?
What?
I mean, I
Am I missing something?
No, I don't think you are.
Okay.
No, because if it's a tall ramp, Nim's gonna ask to, like, hold on for support so you shouldn't, like,
Because
fall
Nim's
or
in
something.
heels.
Well, I don't think it's that big of a thing, but if Nim wants help and Simpson wants to help, I see no reason to stop them from helping each other down the ramp. If Simpson wants to take off his hat and go, "My lady,"
Nah, he just help her down the ramp. He just push her.
I got you, Nim!
Whoop.
you know, again, I don't know how funny it would be, but after I said "Milady," all I thought was, "Oh wait, Nim's a changeling." Milady,
Minim.
Minimdy,
Man.
the real
Hey.
Nim Shady.
I'm gonna just state for the record that, since Hyala left the office, she has not, or has been trying to avoid looking at Samson and Nim.
I am. So my initial thought was, you're avoiding eye contact just like my family?
That's all Nim knows of a mother to do.
Didn't I say you guys are like my family?
I think you meant literally.
Is it like super obvious?
I don't know.
Roll for obvious.
To what extent are you paying attention, and to what? Because like there is definitely other things going on that's probably more noticeable than Hyala being aloof.
Yeah, but like that talk was probably like at least an hour ago.
So I guess in whatever amount of time.
Nah, at least 2 hours plus ago, because Zanzibar would have definitely been under the boat before they got within sight of the harbor. He ain't gonna let anybody take a telescope and spy on him.
Unless they took a smelloscope.
Ooh, yeah, they'd get that lemon scent pretty easily.
That lemon sausage scent.
Ugh.
Ah! Don't ruin sausages for me!
You watch a man who literally makes sausages about whatever he finds on God's green earth.
Yeah, but that's funny.
And the two like food substances Zanzibar has been interacting with for the past 2 weeks are both kind of pungent and don't smell very nice together.
Well, unless she made a lemon chicken sausage. That would work.
But on the point of what was actually being discussed, she wouldn't have like
Shala's
gone
new form
to
of
where you guys
depression.
were for those hours.
Just actually avoiding us?
A little bit.
Look, you know my cowboy can't sit still. I like the idea we're gonna get it off the boat. It's like, oh, yeah, well, there you are.
What have you been up to?
You know, I thought this boat was really small, but then I just couldn't find you.
Which is really weird, because there's a finite amount of space where you could be.
She's just looking ahead at the general guys. Tacticians, that's what the word was.
It would be Tempet, because the tactician went away.
Oh.
We're not cool enough for him. I see how it is.
Nah, big things are happening. It's big that one of the tacticians even came down to make sure what was going on with that boat, because they recognized it instantly. It was like, what? Why the fuck is that there?
Yeah, why is a pirate ship from Zanzibar in our port?
Why is that thing we sent 2 months ago back? That's not supposed to be back.
We're really good at our jobs, or depending how you look at it, we're really bad at our jobs.
We're good at doing what we're told. We're bad at doing our jobs.
Depending on what job you're assessing, they're really good at their job.
Yeah.
We have 100% success rate.
Anyway, so Hyala meets back up with the group, staring and not paying attention to them. And you get down onto the dock, and there stands Tempet with a bunch of guards. You can roll perception for vibes.
Woo, perception!
Woo,
Get
vibes.
some actual rolls in this session 2 hours in. Of course, Hyala gets the... Is Nim gonna give herself advantage? Samson has no hope. Oh, wait a minute. You all have hope. I didn't say a number. It's 10.
Yeah, I rolled decently.
Well, yeah. When I look at everybody else's numbers...
22, 22, 12.
Yeah, for Hyala, it's a no-brainer. For Nim, I always look at the higher number. It's either what she automatically got or what she's about to spend a point on, and then Samson, well...
I'm not spending a point on eyesight right now.
That is... point on die sight.
So yeah,
Ow, my eye.
some of the soldiers look a little nervous. Some of them look more experienced. You get a feeling that there's probably a mix of experience levels floating around. And then there's Tempet, looking, you know, as chipper and wonderful and happy as always, looking like he's ready to just crush a brick with his teeth.
So
You know,
when we
a
walk
real
down,
pleasant man.
when we walk down, I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, long time no see. Still got a crab up your ass?"
You just see his eyes just constrict. His pupils just completely constrict to like pinheads.
That's what I thought.
And yeah. And what would bring you back so soon? Speak quickly. I'm not completely opposed to walking you off this dock right now.
Being done with our jobs, I wanted to get off that hellhole.
2 months, you're done?
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looks all three of you up and down. And you came back to give what you went for to the king, yes?
Mm-hmm. Took a little, effort to get it, as you can see that there's only 3 of us now.
Where
But
are
we
the
got
other
the job
two?
done. Under some sand with some makeshift gravestones.
They had difficulty living, is what I won't say out loud.
Samson, roll me perception advantage.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Good
Satan!
advantage.
So as you give him your spiel, you see his arms soften a little bit. And at the notion that, like, you know, you say you got it, and you're done, and you're here, you see almost the slightest tinge of disappointment rack across his face, ever so subtly. Very well. You'll be escorted. I can't speak! This voice, help!
You heard the man, we're gonna be ex-score.
Escort!
You're going to be escargot.
Oh.
Escargon!
We had some of that. Some Zanzibarian escargot. It was disgusting.
It was.
Mucus. Mucilagulous muck.
I still have some of that.
Well, we're going to become it now.
You're going to be escorted. I almost said it again. Escorted directly to the king. There you can do what you came here to do. And he'll give a signal, and a lot of the soldiers will close in behind you. You know, lock in, rank and file. And he kind of just stands aside and gestures for you three to walk.
That's
It's
right.
gonna take ever.
We're gonna get to hoofing it.
As Samson, as you pass Bristempet, you hear ever so suddenly, but you still pick it up. You just hear him say, "My condolences."
I thought he was gonna call Samson a bitch.
Samson is going to, without like turning his head, just sort of tip his hat towards Bristempet to like acknowledge it, but not like bring attention to it.
Yeah. And Bristempet will close in immediately behind you three. And at that point, you'll hear the familiar cackle of electricity and energy. As you just hear him grip some things, and without turning your heads, you can figure he's got his shields with him. It's... yeah.
This is an armored escort.
He brings you three up to probably the most armored and decked out carriage you've ever seen. Thing literally looks like it's ready for a war.
Oh, I was gonna make a joke, but I can't remember the thing I was going to make the joke about.
I'm just glad we're not walking.
As all four of you approach, two guards will open up the double doors on the side of the carriage and stand at attention, and you'll just hear Tempet say, "Get in!"
Alright.
Not even a please.
Does this man ever seem like he's said please in his life?
Yeah, probably to someone.
Feels like, man, this is like the teachers at school.
You know, I just thought when you said probably someone, I thought maybe like his parents taught him how to say please. And then the idea that both his mother and father talk as like gruff of a voice as he does. Like, hello there, mother. Hello there, father. Good morning, son. How are you doing today?
Great! I just passed my exams.
Now isn't that my little man?
In that voice, I was expecting the thing that was passed to be something else.
Yeah.
I love you, mommy. I love you too, Jacques.
Son.
Ninja smoke. As you three get in, you
The cart
feel the very fine, luxurious fabrics that upholster the seats. A gentle lantern lights the inside of the carriage. It's incense, but you can't place what the scent is.
What's that
Are we
thing?
about to be poisoned?
As Briss Tempet walks into the carriage and sits on the other side opposite you, he hears your question and just looks you dead in the eye. Shut up. No talking!
And Zanzibar thought we were going to be questioned a whole bunch.
But
We
Nim
were
never
literally just
stops
told
talking.
not to speak.
Yeah, well, lucky in some ways, unlucky in others.
I'm so tempted to ask, like, not at all, or like just for the duration.
Do it.
So, like, not at all, or like just for the duration.
If I ask you a question, you will answer. If I don't, you will shut your mouth!
Got any question?
As the doors close and the daylight is cut off from the inside of the carriage, all you just see is a vein creep up the side of his temple.
His breast temple?
Yeah, his wrist temple, and you can swear he's looking just a little more crimson.
We're gonna make this the worst
that
ride
will
for
be
him.
the last thing Samson said.
The ride is tense, to say the least. For some more than others.
For Yala being near the two people she never wanted to be close to right now.
Yeah, Hyala's like on the side, and if there's a window, she's just intently looking out of it.
There's a very narrow slit.
Yeah, she's looking out that.
You know, narrow slits to see out of, but there's metal slots. Bleh. Slopes! Why is my tongue dying? Above them, for, you know, like, deflecting arrows and stuff.
Hey, does Nim look like she's dying?
Why?
I don't know. I guess that's a question for Nim.
Actually, there's a question for the DM.
Why?
Question for the DM.
Is there a reason Nim should look like she's dying?
Well, I don't know if this card is pleated with Adam or not.
Oh.
The answer is yes. Nim will throw up on command.
Yeah,
We'll
so
probably
The
hit him.
answer!
That's the thing.
Well, it's a very good thought. However, she's not in direct contact with it because you're sitting on fabric. So, I like the thinking, but you wouldn't be able to find out from that. But good try. Keep
Wouldn't
that
just
clever
being
shit up.
in a large amount of Adam mean that Nim's not having a good time though?
Well, Nim could do an Arcana check, and that might tell her something.
Samson do an Arcana check.
Go ahead,
Wait, what's
Samson!
the dog
Arcana
do
check
on
at
me?
disadvantage.
Woo! Thanks, disadvantage.
I honestly thought Nim's roll was Samson's roll, and I was about to be like, wow, this is gonna be funny.
Samson can't get a 24 on Arcana.
Hey, I don't pay attention to the numbers. I let you guys roll and I interpret them, that's it.
True.
But yeah, no. Samson tries, for whatever reason, to perform an Arcana check, and he's just thinking to himself, like, man, how's this work? What am I doing?
Samson's like, is this thing made out of Adam? And then he's gonna think first. He's like, no thought for a second. He's like, I guess not. That's it.
Nim, however, you roll an Arcana check, and you definitely don't feel the presence of Adam, but you feel the presence of something. And as you're doing your Arcana check, you just hear a buzzing coming from Bristempet's pocket, to which everyone seems to notice, because he looks down and he looks straight at you. And all you hear is, "What are you doing?"
My best.
You know he's not looking at Samson, he's looking at him.
You said don't talk. I need something to pass the time.
Cut it out. And yeah, you'll ride all the way up to the King's Garden.
But before we get to that, there's just one other thing Samson wants to do.
Yeah, I've got a break to do. So you could say that, then we'll go to the break, and then we'll come back
Samson,
to
without saying any words, is going to pull out his harmonica and just point at it and look at Bristempet.
He's gonna see you reach into the pocket. Nim and Hyala are gonna see you make a face, a Tempet face.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna pull out the harmonica, look at him and point at it, and his face is gonna soften. He's gonna stare at you for like a solid 5 seconds. How well can you play?
Decently.
He stares, just staring through you, into your very soul for a solid 10 seconds. Play it softly.
How do you softly play a harmonica?
You don't blow very hard.
And he'll just lean back into the seat and cross his arms in a disgruntled fashion.
So...
Performance, isn't it, for instruments?
Actually the harmonica has its own thingy.
What is it?
No, like, you just roll it.
Oh, roll
That's the thing
harmonic.
for, instruments, is that they sort of just roll themselves.
Roll themselves. Roll harmonics!
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
So, you probably have a way of how this is going to work. I have one in my head too.
Go ahead and let me hear your idea first.
I just imagine that Samson's like, he says play it softly. He just nods, like, gets ready, puts the harmonica on his mouth, plays one note, and Bristempet's like, no. Because that's just like all of that plays one note, no more.
That is sufficient.
But one
You had
note,
one chance.
one note wouldn't be enough for him to... It
would for him. Because...
You know what? It's your failure. You're rolling with it. You're not trying to get out of it. I'll give it to you. Samson lifts it up to his mouth, plays one note, and literally a hand appears in front of his face. Just big old don't palm. Enough.
Oh. And then he'll put the harmonica back and be a little sad.
I was also gonna say, Nim will help unless you get a nat 1, because that sounds funny. The irony.
That one's so fucking funny.
And on that note, as he slips the harmonica back into his pocket, we go to What? I can't think of the underside of a boat. What's below the deck?
The bow.
No, the
that's
bow's
the
the
front,
front of the
isn't
ship.
it?
The bow's the front of the ship.
Isn't it just below deck?
Yes! I'm an it. Oh god, my brain is leaking out of my ears tonight. I don't know why.
That happens to me too.
Super Gomen.
Y'all keep your
Not
brain
me.
between your ears.
No.
Where do you keep it?
Don't ask that.
Elsewhere.
You know, my horrible brain. You know what? I'm not even gonna reveal my brain. We're just moving on.
You already revealed it. It's between your ears.
Yeah, sure. So below deck, Zanzibar is just tucked away behind some crates by a porthole. And he just carefully reaches up and looks out the porthole to see the underdeck, or the underdock, you know, the subdock that I was talking about, or he was talking about, somebody was talking about. My brain is not working. Help. And he just stares he's just staring very intently at the seawall that the dock attaches to. Almost like he's studying the rocks and the cobble that makes up that one section he's staring at.
Oh god, I've gotten that bored before.
And he just stares at it really intently while Snowdrop's just sitting on the planks next to him, just cocking his head side to side.
You're gonna ruin this for us both.
So he picks Snowdrop up, brings him close, and just says to him in Terran, "Now do exactly what I said. Go find the only valuable thing in this city. When you do, your present should be enough. That's all you have to do. I'm going to make sure that I can get you out of here. When you see that spot right there, call me." And he just puts his finger on Snowdrop's head and he carves an itty bitty tiny whiny little tiny itsy bitsy little seal that he carved on your 3 foreheads. And he gives Snowdrop's own little curse mark. Yay for Snowdrop!
Gave an itsy
Baby's
bitsy
first
teeny
curse
weeny
mark.
yellow polka dot curse mark.
You should have just stopped at that.
Yellow polka dot curse mark Amy. And I'll bring Snowdrop up to the porthole, and Snowdrop will launch himself from the Umber Rose onto the dock and scurry behind some boxes. From that point, Zanzibar will just sit there, trying not to be spotted or noticed. And we come back to our intrepid adventurers, who are offloaded from the carriage, say goodbye to Briss Tempet, and are taken into the king's castle once again.
I feel like Nim probably just took a nap in the carriage.
Woo!
Make our way.
The king's guards are stacked to the brim in armor. Their pole arms and their pole axes and their pole spears and their pole swords and their pole weapons glint with reckless displays of wealth.
It's almost like they're compensating for something.
Or someone else is compensating for them. The castle is still just as it ever was, decked in lavish amounts of ivory and marble, gold beyond your wildest dreams,
And an absolute lack of basic taste.
Absolute lack of basic taste.
I'm getting deja vu.
1 square foot of this castle could probably pay off most of the debt of Varesis for at least several years. An incredible, irresponsible amount of gaudy riches. As you walk through the castle, you are filled with the same distaste as you were several months ago.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. More moons than Kuno. Well, that's not true.
Kuno was born after I left. Don't ask how.
Kiala's actually a displacer beast.
In real time, it's probably been more moons than Kuno's been alive. Oh wait, no, she did just turn 1. God, we are almost on our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, so is Kuno.
Man, can't believe we're finally finishing the prologue. Oh, that will never not be a funny joke.
Yeah. Especially considering the prologue's probably just gonna keep going.
Nah, the prologue really was just you guys landing at Zanzibar. At this point,
Yeah.
it's just funny to say.
Man, I can't believe we're still on Zanzibar.
I mean, we will be.
Yeah, we're going back.
Here in a hot minute.
You're free! Just kidding! Welcome to
Come out,
Zanzibar!
JK.
You'll never leave!
I want to see Zanzibar's tower listed on Airbnb.
$0.00 per night. Requirements: survival skills. So, any thoughts as you walk this walk again? Any thoughts?
Nim somehow more disgusted with the lack of taste because so much time has passed and it still hasn't gotten any better.
Yeah. Any warm and fuzzy thoughts about walking up the King's Garden?
Man, I wish I could have gotten those books.
I'd love to know what's in Hyala's head, but Ah, that's right. Wait! No! Jade's in Cali! After session Jade! I can ask her all the questions I want! Man, I love Cali every day. Just a little bit more.
Then go there, coward.
Yeah.
No, see, if I went there, then I wouldn't benefit from Cali time. I'd live it.
True.
But if Jade lives there, I can benefit the Cali time.
I do live here.
Whoa. When that happened?
I'd have to have a very good reason to move to Cali. That's very far from my entire family. No, that would not... Being far from my family would not be a good reason to move to Cali. Before anybody thinks to make the funny haha.
Wouldn't be for me.
Well, you'd be away from the rest of your family, but that includes me.
True.
Then you can't buy me breakfast.
Yeah, he can. He knows where you live.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, he can. It's called DoorDash. He knows where you
I ain't
live.
DoorDashing shit to shit.
Shit to Shiola.
I said can, not that you
The
would.
Shiola buff.
So you're brought up to the massive doors to the King's Chamber. It feels like every step you took through the castle, more guards crowded around for your escort. By the time you reach the doors, you easily have a small battalion following you and encasing you and encapsulating you.
Shit, this most at home Kiala's felt since we left.
I drop a bunch of caltrops on the floor. I'm kidding.
Just so you know, we can find our way back.
Roll for initiative!
I drop a bunch of ball bearings on the floor stealthily.
Crash. As you approach the doors, they begin to open with their heavy, burdenous might, moving across the floor with labor as the room shakes from their thunderous weight. And you see the King's Chamber in all of its miserable glory. In fact, it feels like since the last time you've been here, it's gotten even more opulent. If that's even possible.
The rich get richer.
I bet they don't get more taste.
Yeah, rich people suck. Who would ever want to be friends with any of them?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was pretty good. Kudos, Richie.
Oh, I get it now!
14 minutes after the fact.
Hey!
It does take time for sound to travel.
Especially across the country.
Yeah?
Don't bully me, you! Sometimes I forget
Hey.
you're rich, because you're just that cool.
You're the one who decided to say he hates rich people.
I'll never forget you're rich, you monster.
I know. Look at all my dice
That is
that
funny.
I bought.
That is funny for more reasons than you know. Oh my god.
So we're in the Ugly King's Chamber.
Wait, like as in the Ugly King's Chamber, or the King's Ugly
Yes.
Chamber, or the Ugly King's Ugly Chamber?
Yes.
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 I feel like a yes is unnecessary, since the last option was basically yes.
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 Well, glad we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Yes.
So Samson can learn magic?
No.
No.
Oh, me and Jade sharing that brain cell.
Hey,
Bros.
ask me who my favorite NPC in Templado 3 is.
Who's your favorite NPC in Templado 3?
Yes.
I hate everything about being a DM.
Oh god, that's right! Yes is actually a character!
Yes.
Yes.
I hate that, like, every time I talk to people about DMing, and everyone's like, oh man, my players love this NPC, I always have to bring it up.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes!
I love yes.
I can tell.
You should draw yes, so I know what yes looks like.
A Kenku.
You know, because there's only one type.
Exactly.
Man, Jade, you should draw a whole bunch of Kenku.
Birds
Yeah,
are
you
hard.
like birds.
No. No. No.
Do it.
No.
Draw all of Shiala's Kenku and the Aarakocra friends.
I drew 2 of them, that's enough.
Nope.
Yeah,
Never.
there's only 2.
I mean, I guess it depends on how we're defining friend. Anyways,
Yeah.
moving on.
So we're in
Moving!
the Ugly King's Chamber.
We're in
Unless
the
it
ugly...
doesn't matter.
We're in the Ugly King's... We're in the Ugly King's Ugly Chamber, Ugly. What are you laughing about?
Someone sent me a clip of the game that the beta just ended, and the fucking grappler activated his super, and he just starts breathing, and slowly the other character just gets drawn into him, and he just keeps backdancing trying to get away, but he doesn't. For like a good 6 seconds.
So, he just gets Kirby inhaled.
Yeah. Well, no, because he's like a martial arts man, so he takes like a martial arts pose, and then just green fart lines just start like enclosing in on him. Like, what the fuck? This game's stupid. I miss it already.
Anywho.
Yeah.
So, y'all walk in, and you see, you know, the two giant
Whoa. He's got gourds.
The two giant door guards. There we go.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Two giant door guards.
Ah, cool.
As you walk through, they swiftly push the doors closed behind you, locking you in to this room of unimaginable opulence. And there you see, all the way at the other side, is the King of Evungal.
I shoot it.
In all of his obese glory. As he looks upon you, he raises his arms up. All his jewelry and rings hang from his fat fingers like such disgusting fruit.
We're back.
We have gotta stop meeting like this.
Genuinely just
Say
yell that
okay.
out.
Yeah,
I say that about game.
I said that in character.
Welcome, intrepid young ones. You have brought to me what I desire, yes?
Of course.
This 20-step diet plan from Zanzibar. About
Zatkins.
Okay. I need to reboot. Oh. Yes.
It's the steady weight off reality diet. You know, the sword.
It'll shave off every pound.
Cut through those calories.
Slice through those calories.
Burn every calorie in your body.
Blow away all those unwanted curves.
Woo.
May I ask how it was you were able to procure the swords?
So, we managed to procure a sort of giant water beetle to bring us through the desert that was around Zanzibar's tower, which if you have never been there or never heard of it, it is like being on fire all of the time. We managed to get a local to actually help us get close, but then things took a turn for the worse, and as you can see, we lost two of our party.
He raises a hand. What do you mean, local?
Oh, don't worry about it. It was just someone who we managed to convince to bring us through the desert.
No, dear merrymaker! What are you talking about? Locals?
They're, you know, like the pirates.
Zanzibar is inhabited by hordes of pirates?
Just say
Yeah.
yes so we can move on.
Yeah. I mean, and monsters. We actually did some of that biological expedition stuff.
Want some escargot?
Oh yeah, we got this thing from a giant snake. Oh, that's not the point.
I love the idea of
Tell me.
Simpson having this conversation, reaching into his bag of holding and just pulling out with his bare hand a dripping mucusy.
No, it's got a
Uncontrollably.
ration tag on it.
Yeah.
No, I know, but it's more funny to picture. If
all
it's just
gross and icky.
absolutely horrifically
Just
disgusting.
this like okra meat. Just a piece of meat dripping mucus from it. Tell me, what is the civility of these locals?
Pirate?
They have weapons.
No, I mean, kinda. Like pirates do.
Then they have numbers enough for an army.
Kinda.
Very dangerous indeed. Very dangerous. How did you procure one of them to assist you? These
Alcohol?
demon children of Zanzibar could be so easily convinced to betray him over mere liquor.
Well, no, that a little, you know, quick talking. They didn't know they were betraying him. They thought they were helping us, especially since we gave them booze.
Why would they help you?
Because we're pretty. I say
they thought we were nice, and we gave them liquor.
He nods slightly, and you see him stroking one of his several chins. Deception is a good tool against savages. Good
Don't
for
you know it?
Good for you.
When you get owned and aren't aware that you're getting owned.
And so, Simpson will say, so we managed to get to this big tower. This place was really weird. It was way bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. I feel like we went up like 1,000,000 steps. And just ended up in the middle of nowhere.
Devil's magic, I am sure.
And by a stroke of luck, when we were wandering inside, I thought to myself, man, I wish we were just at that sword that we're looking for. And then poof, I was there. Crazy. So then, the other two, probably wanting to get back to me, did the same thing, and they were all inside the same room, filled with all sorts of stuff of Zanzibar. Luckily, they were categorically labeled. Very convenient.
He raises your hand. He raises his hand and speaks. You mean you found an armory with all of Zanzibar's items?
Specifically at the sword. As you can imagine, it was really big, but I didn't notice. I did see a few things. There was a sword, and then there was another sword, but one was called the sword, and the other one was called the quill. But it didn't look like a sword. It didn't look like a quill, I mean.
I assume you took it upon yourselves to take all that you saw?
Well,
Nim does have
we
a quill.
thought about that, but see, if one thing was missing, that could just be like an issue. But if we took everything, he would have known that we were there, or someone was there. And considering who we're talking about, I think trying to get away with what we could was better than trying to rob him blind. And...
Where was the monster?
Not there, as far as we knew. We only got to the armory and got out. Back through the desert. There was a giant battle going on between a lot of the local wildlife and some giant sand like men-shaped creatures. But luckily we managed to avoid all of that. However, if he's actually as, you know, bloodlust crazy as everyone says he'd be, probably where he was, so good thing we managed to avoid it with all of our lives.
He strokes his wrinkled chins. He waits for you to speak more.
So we get back to one of the port. Luckily, the pirates that we came there with was at that port, and we managed to convince them that we had done all of our biological research. We got some samples, we got some notes. And then we hitched a ride back here, and here we are, Your Majesty.
And what of Princulo Bellitas? And the Eladrin, Celeste?
Samson's going to, like, grit his teeth at the fact that he, like, pronounced her name wrong. But try and not show it. It's just... Well, we did mention that we got a local to help us get through the desert, but once they learned of why we were there, things turned a little hostile, and they gave themselves up for us.
I take it the friend turned savage was dispatched with.
Yeah, but not without losing the lives of our party members.
Good, good. Any who would go against civility and justice should be dealt with most harshly. As for your two compatriots, have solace knowing they have served the greater good.
I keep it in the back of my mind every day.
Honor and glory is theirs, as he raises his arms from his throne. For they have died for the most noble of causes, to eradicate savagery and wickedness from our world.
Now, with our entire mission having been recapped, can we talk about payment?
Ah, ever the adventurer you are, but patience. First, where is the sword? You mentioned it was of a great size. However, I do not see a large sword on your persons.
See, that's the funny thing about magic. It's always got its little it's got its little tricks.
Yes.
And then Samson will gesture over to Nim.
Nim waves.
I do not understand. She also does not look like she is carrying a large sword.
No, I can carry a large sword, alright.
Nim can really take a large sword.
That is not what I said.
It's what it sounded like.
I said I can carry a large sword, alright.
That was not the energy you delivered that line with.
I know what I did.
I know what you did, so don't be afraid if I join the don't be upset if I join the bandwagon.
Abandoned.
But also that was above game. Nim would never.
Yeah, I would like to hope Nim's not like, I can carry a large sword, sir.
That's for one of her other personalities.
That's for the personality she develops by hanging around Yellow.
Oh.
Of all the things, she just like, woo.
Yeah.
Uh,
This tiny Pacha.
anyway, yeah, no. He examines Nim. He does not see a sword on her person either.